Alright, welcome to Final Fantasy III Pixel Remaster. As we continue our climb to finish this mega franchise, or at least not, well, for me, I finished all of them, but to put them on full display here on the internet finally. The mission continues. Obviously, like always, right? Played it, enjoyed it, loved the shit out of it. This game is timeless. Not one that we had readily available in the US for a very long time. So Final Fantasy III does skip a lot of people's lists because it's just not as familiar as the other ones are. Done everything. As you can see, the enemies, the worlds are getting a lot bigger in these games. So this is when they started really taking off with a bunch of different things. But I will attempt to showcase everything that I can. We are going to play with Boost as usual, because, like I said, with the Mega franchise, I have way too many things to do to be playing these things for, like, their 20-hour stands or whatever you want to say. And this one can take a while. But like I said at the end of Final Fantasy II Pixel Remaster, 3 is following the same story as kind of like Crystals, Crystals and Warriors of Light and all that stuff, but this time around we're Onion Knights. I do believe that the 3D remaster for FF3 is probably the better version overall, because one, it gives you extra dungeons and the characters are named, and they give you a little bit more like story and voice acting and stuff like that, so it's a lot cooler in my opinion. And the game runs fine. I mean, you can play it on Steam, because that's the only place you can get it now is on Steam. They took it away on the iPhones and the app stores because the Pixel remasters took over that, just to avoid confusion, I guess. So people weren't buying things that they didn't really want. I think that's stupid though. They should have just kept everything on there. As long as you have it, you can still play it. Like, it's probably just not going to see support on those devices any longer. But let's get to it. So name-wise, we can actually go with the names that the 3D remaster gives them. And the only one right now that I can remember is Luneth, but so you got Luneth, we got Ark, Refia, Ingus. So in the 3D remake or whatever of this game, Luneth is basically like the main character. I mean, like, it's kind of like the first character you play with, and you only play as one character for the first part, and then you go around and start collecting your party members. This one, they're all together all at once, so that is completely different. Luneth and the 3D remake is actually a lot harder than the base versions of these games, like by a mile. Ark is kind of like a very shy kind of guy, very not as, like, he has to find his bravery, basically. That's what I remember of him. Refia is the female of the party. She hails from the same town as all of them, obviously. And then Ingus he's kind of like the rowdy boy. He's like, yeah, let's go do it, type dude. Yeah, color palettes will stay that way just to kind of differentiate them. Kind of lazy design, but it is what it is. In silence once again prophesied, the great earthquake was only the beginning. The tremors tore the land asunder, the crystal sources of the world's light were swallowed to death as monsters emerged from the chasms now scarring the earth. Yet, that was nothing compared to the catastrophe to come. Something fathomless, ominous, and laden with sorrow looms on the horizon, but hope is not yet gone completely. 4 souls will be blessed with the power of light, and so it shall begin. Four orphaned youths raised by Topapa and the rural village of Ur were out to test their mettle. They came across a cave, one of the very same that formed when the crystals were lost to the earth. What started as a simple game of exploration became so much more. Ouch. Looks like we fell through a sinkhole. Now what do we do? You can climb out. You wanted to go exploring, don't be such a scared cat. So they tried, you could tell like one of them is Art, because that's exactly how he was, a little bit timid, scared. Goblins! Alright, so what does Final Fantasy III do differently from all the other ones we've played so far? First off, you get jobs. Once we start getting crystals unlocked, we start getting jobs. And then you're going to start netting 2 different types of experience, which is going to be job points and obviously your level points. So FF3 is kind of fickle in this manner because you are eventually going to hit like a cap on your level, which is going to be 99, and your job level is going to hit a cap as well, but your overall level is going to determine, like your HP, how much MP you have associated, or not really your MP, but like how much HP is associated with your character, and then your job level is going to determine how much like MP and stuff like that you have available for mage jobs and all that kind of stuff, and what kind of spells you can cast, and all sorts of whatnot. As we play through more, it'll start to make more sense. This game utilizes the spell charge system, so no more MP yet again. It'll only go up to 9, so you'll have 9 castings of whatever magic in any field. This one's a lot more forgiving, though, because there's only 1 type of magic associated with like each level. So if we have the black, like if we get a black mage, there's only going to be 3 types of magics in that level. So you can remove things, you can learn them, you can use them, you can exchange magics between the characters. There's a lot you can do in this game. Formation wise, we have the back and the front yet again. So you always want to put your weaker jobs in the back so that they don't get like slapped up for no reason, or if they are arranged or whatever. Stats, they're all based. Everyone has the same equipment for now. No items to speak of. Yeah. So when you read on this one, you have a lot of different options you can choose from. Re-equip. So whenever you set a new job, you can put it down to optimal, which means that the game will re-equip you, depending on what you are going to become, and just give you the strongest stuff. Usually this isn't like the best option end game, because you want to like really sit there and think about what you want to put on your characters, because every dungeon has like its own little thing. Um, for the boost, of course, experience is going to be up, gil is going to go up, and job level is going to go up. So we are going to be boosting much quicker, and we are going to be progressing really fast. But even then, the game is still pretty difficult, to be honest. Even with the boost. I mean, the idea of these games is that you're spending time like grinding areas and getting to a comfortable level to where you can like kind of meet balanced damage taken and balanced damage given whenever you're playing these older Final Fantasy titles, you know. And the truth can be said for most of them, but nowadays the Final Fantasies of today are all about more your skill in combat and how well you're able to dodge and parry and stuff like that. So a little bit more change in that regard rather than this old turn-by-turn system. But yeah, so should be an easy run, as they all are. Again, you get your map, get how many chests, quality of life stuff, all sorts of shit. This one is actually filled with optional quests too. So this is like the first time that we've actually seen optional quests in a Final Fantasy game. That are more than anything more meaningful than just like, oh, grab this item and go take it somewhere and then get something. Like in Final Fantasy 1, the best optional thing you can do is go get a job change or get your class changes, and that's by going to the Citadel of Trials and going to Bahamut and getting changed up so you're stronger. But it's kind of necessary more than it is optional. It's only optional because you don't really have to do it to beat the game, but yeah. FF2, it's just... Really honest, I don't think anything was optional in that game. You just had to do it. And then the only thing I forgot to do is get Excalibur from the Dragoon lady. Which sucks, because I was like, oh... Morning, baby. Yep. And this game will start featuring like items in the wild, kind of like inside of towns. You'll find them in patches of grass, inside of containers, boxes, barrels. Random ass trees. It's a really weird one. You'll have to kind of like walk square by square, and if you get an exclamation point, then yes, use it. Inside of dungeons, there will be stuff like this. Interact with the environment, and some secret doors will open. Love the OST in this one. So ultimately, the Onion Knight job is probably considered the strongest once you get it up to a high enough level, because it pretty much does everything. I think they call it Freelancer in the other game, or that could be FF5, I don't really remember right now. But I never stick to Onion Knighting. The only reason why Onion Knight is the strongest is because at the end game you'll be able to farm dragons for onion equipment, and it'll be like the strongest armor and stuff in the game. And I think they get like an onion sword, which is one of the powerful swords of the game, so it just takes a while to grind it out. So it's not something everyone does all the time. You're gonna want that. So a really easy way to cheese the job levels in this one is, I was starting to come back to me. You have to perform a certain amount of actions as that job in order to get a job level increase. And easier ways to do that is to, like, we'll have to sit out in the middle of the field, run around and battle these goblins, but you'll want to defend for like 3 turns and then do your attacks. It takes forever to do stuff like that. But the name of the game is to get a certain amount of actions within that job field, and defend is usually like the one that people use the most. So you'll have to sit there, take the brunt of pain, and then just keep doing it over and over again until you get to a comfortable job level. Not the best thing, but you're going to do that in the 3D remake because that's how you're going to get power leveled anyway. That's why you'll see these guys kind of start over leveling each other quicker. Sometimes it's percentage based, so you know, Ark had just enough ability to over level everyone else. And then just to show like what I mean by this. Now I didn't play with the boost last time, so I'm not sure how it's going to really work here. So just let the enemies go. And go again. One more time. Okay. There we go. Job level has increased to 6, 6, 5, and 6. Okay, so that is actually really nice. That's going to make it go much faster. So that's the kind of thing you want to end up doing. So let's see what happens when we do 5 turns. Because that's going to make this so much better. Easiest thing to do is to kill off most of these enemies though, because you don't want to sit there and take too much damage. Those eye fangs and the 3D remake will absolutely fuck you up. Okay. So it'll be 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So 10, 10, 9, 10. So like they're going up by 4 each time. So let's confirm that one more time. That's 3. Wow. That's 5. Let's just do it again, I guess. There we go. Yep. Alright, so we're going up by 4 each job level. That's good. Alright, so job level will cap out at 99. So now that we know how the boost works, that's going to make this game way too... Yeah, honestly, I would just sit here and... reduce them down and take some levels, why not? Oh, they're dead. Alright, another really hard battle in the 3D remake. You want to use your Arctic Wind here. All of them. Land turtles are weak to blizzards. And then just attack the rest. Before until the crystals speak to you. Within the light, the will of the crystal surged through them. They decided to accept their destiny. And so began a journey to dispel the darkness and return light to the world. The young heroes received the crystal's power. And with it, the world's last light of hope. Warrior, monk, white mage, black mage, and red mage. Then speak to the crystal again to get a full heal. Very nice. A-tier theme song. Alright, so now it's time to put on new jobs. You can tell they got real lazy with the art design too, because they went straight back for their original pixel designs. Equipable items, obviously every job can only equip certain items. So that's going to play a factor into like probably not spamming up to like 3 red mages and 1 warrior. Because then they're just not going to have enough equipment until you can actually start buying the stuff. But warrior, art will be a monk, Refia, a white mage, Ingus, or black mage. The thing about the 3D remake too is that they actually changed their costumes. Everyone has a different uniform. It's really, really cool. Like a lot of effort was put into that game. And then formation-wise, obviously put the mages in the back. No magics to speak of right now, so they're going to be kind of useless. And then one of the best overworld theme songs ever in the history of these Final Fantasy games. So re-enter the cave, and then you can go through the stuff that you didn't get. And also, look at this. You get secret doors. Oh no! But the best thing about FF3 is that, and all of these pixel remasters, to be honest, is that anytime you get a hidden room like this, the entire map will display where the other hidden rooms are. Back then, obviously not a thing, but yeah. So there you go. So this one is very interesting game, I'm not gonna lie. So we'll attack once, defend with the rest. And let's make that 2, 3, 4, and then... Actually, hold on. Because everybody needs to get a turn before we do that. Because if the warrior goes first, then it won't matter. But it only caps off at 5 turns. So make sure that you're defending for at least 5, or that all your characters can get 5 turns in general, and then you'll get the full multiplier. So like, we went from 1 to 5, so now everybody is good to go, right? And the best part about this is that with the job level increase, you'll have to go on the internet and actually look up like what each job level actually does for each job. But it's really simple. So like for job level 5, or for the job level for the warrior, it's going to increase the amount of times that you hit as a warrior. For job level to the monk, it's also the same thing, how many of, you know, whatever you get to hit with. Job level for the mages is going to determine how much MP you have associated to all your magics, and how much damage you do with that certain magic. So you can already bet we're really on a good start right now. Same thing, get rid of them. There's 1. Okay. There's 2. 3. 4. 5. Okay. All right, that's your first sleep right there. And it don't make a cool sound, which sucks. Like in the old game, there was like ding-a-ling-a-ling, like a little ding, but no, here it doesn't. So like I said, 3 spells associated with each one, but there's just enough spells inside of each level, so you don't have to stress out about like, oh, what do I gotta learn? The longsword, the nunchaku. For the warrior, it is probably most optimal to put double sword on him, because you want more damage, especially in the 3D remake. That's like a super thing, and you do need to have 2 swords. Like, having a shield is cool and all, but it's not worth it to get. You want to have faster ways to kill things in these games. Nunchaku is good for the monk, but you want to keep the monk empty-handed, because that's basically how they do the most damage. There's 1. There's 2. 3. 4. 5. And this is basically this one I don't imagine is going to be my best Final Fantasy game on the channel for sure, because this is exactly how it's going to go every single time. So it's definitely not going to be the most entertaining thing to watch, but in my opinion, none of these ever really have been, because they're just for a good time for yourself. Not really video quality type games, but you know, if you just want to see what it looks like, then fine. Or if you're just bored, you want something in the background and you see someone playing Final Fantasy, that's usually what I do. I'll just put it on, do it for the music. Get used to this area a lot too, because this is where we do our grinding stuff, especially during endgame. This is where I love to come out. And you can already tell the monk's already doing higher damage than the warrior. Okay, Yor has 6 items and 8 chests. So items are now being introduced into towns, meaning that you actually have to go search for those. Or sometimes they're given to you as quest rewards. If you want to use an item, just select it. Plus, why not use a potion on me? Try it out. There you go. And he gave us echo herbs to remove silence. So you can do that a lot, I think. I'll just keep giving you stuff, but he's not required to give you anything. Again, it's another one of these Final Fantasy games where you have to read and talk to all the NPCs to get an idea of what you're supposed to do next. This one's a little more story-driven, but not as much. We're still getting there. You should never leave home without a spell of cure. I saw one in the shed deeper in the thicket. So, explore the towns before you actually go into the shops in this game, because you actually can find things for free before you spend your gil on it. Not that gil is going to be a problem in this run, because we have the times option on there. You go into the inn. You always want to like kind of check pots like this. Get 1 out of 6. Another potion. Yep. And to the dancers, yes, because I think you get an achievement associated with this. The piano's not going to matter until the 5th game. A lot of interaction now with like the towns and everything, so they started really upgrading and being like, how can we make these games better, right? Oh my goodness. So again, another secret hidden area right here. You check the map, you can kind of see if there's anywhere else you can do. Go down the well. A whole bunch of free shit. Get you started journey, you know, on your journey. I'm picking flowers. So inside the flower patches, there will also be like items like this. Yeah, it's one of these games you gotta really be thorough in your exploration. And then he was warning us about monsters in the thicket, so get ready for battles down this way. Now, obviously, this type of scenario is not going to be sustainable, because when we fight the tougher enemies, they are going to wipe you if you do this all the time. So against like goblins and stuff that only do like 1 HP damage, this is the best time to start getting your job levels in. And then sitting and being very comfortable with them for a long time, unless you have like some kind of challenge run associated with it. See the camera first to the right? It's an actual switch from the door. Yep. Like, you'll be interacting with everything in this game. Longsword, leather armor, cure, dagger, leather. Let's optimize ourselves here. Learn the cure spell. And essentially, everybody can learn magics. It's just there's only certain jobs that will be able to use that magic. That should go pretty needless without saying, but yeah, it is very confusing at times. So we got 8 out of 6, so we're good. And move along. Of course, these guys just can't leave us alone. Okay, if there's anything that you want here, then it's time to do it. I like giving the black mage a bow sometimes. Like it's different, it's unique rather than a dagger. But in this run, we're not doing that. Staff, yeah, sure. That mage doesn't have anything equipped. Okay. Leather armor, leather cap, bronze big. 2 more of those and 1 of those. And the cool thing is that there's no magic interference in this game, so you can go ahead and load up armors on your mages and it won't do anything to them. Mage shops are probably the best. Remove poison. Yep. Alright, so save your money. You don't need this is like a free heal area too. This is the guy you need to talk to, but if you go over here, you get MP and HP restored. And if you go on this side, you get your allies resurrected. So you'll always have a free way of doing shit. Just always remember the town of Yor forever. Okay, go speak to Tilpapa. Alright, so you pretty much get the blessing of old Pa there to get the hell on out and start your adventure. Just kind of walk around, get into some battles. You'll find enemies all over this place. Ah, shit. I hate when I do that. Alright, town to the south. So an NPC was letting us know about Kazis. Eek. Again, another one of these weirdo paths, right? You're just like, what? Oh, 3 staff down. Difficult hill. Use bronze. Yeah, so the people here are cursed. So the Jinn has cursed the villagers into being basically invisible. So there's nothing you can do here to interact with anybody. They're just all going to say the same thing. And here we go, we got Sid. Do need to need to talk to Sid because you get an airship. He'll lend it to you. That's why I say it's very important to talk to every NPC. Obviously, I'm going to know where to go because this isn't my first time. But they'll all kind of tell you a little something about what's going on here. Potion. A potion. Now, if I end up missing items in the world or whatever, for me personally, I don't really care because I have already gotten all that stuff before, and I already know that some of them aren't really worth it. They're just there to be there. But I will do what I can to, like, find every single item. It's just this guy, I think he's in the way of it. Or I might have just skipped it out. Honestly, I wasn't even really looking though, to be honest. So let's try again. I always forget where this one's at. Alright. So you're not meant to survive this cave right out the gate, but I think we're going to be fine. Oh, you can't even touch the button. That sucks. Oh no, they're still tough. I don't think it caps off at 10. Holy crap. Okay, this game, obviously, I don't remember much about it now, huh? Alright, we're gonna get out of here because that was pretty heavy hits right there. We don't be needing that. Take a free heal, I guess. So you get an airship right 3 seconds into the game. Isn't that cool? Can't fly over mountaintops though. But you can fly around these things. So, thing that you want to do first is actually head over to Castle Kazas over here. If that's even what it's called. Castle Sassoon, okay. I forgot what it's called. Okay, so they want the mithril ring. Alright, you got 2 towers here. It's beneficial to go to these 2 towers now and get the item rewards out of them. Yeah, holy arrows. So you do want to encounter everything you can inside these towers because I believe it's the easiest way to do it, and I think some of the monsters here are missable. Zombies are very terrifying looking in this one, right? Love it so much. I would just get rid of these fucks because they... Actually, hold on. I don't know what kind of status effects they give you. Poison, damn it. And I think in this one, poison sticks. Yep, sure did. Yeah, start getting rid of these, like, the enemies that give you status effects too. Get rid of those quickly. That's a little bit of a boss fight. So White Slayer is going to be for the Red Mage. So you can get a really nice early game Red Mage sword, and the game's trying to tell you like, hey, use the Red Mage because he comes with a pretty cool sword for the next dungeon because it's a bunch of undead fucks in there. Travel to the other side, do the other tower. Get a free bow if you want to switch over to the bow, and then you have to give him an arrow. The holy arrow, obviously, for the undead. Why they couldn't do that for the white mage, I don't know, but whatever. Sleep in the princess's bed. Unhinged, man. Love it. Yeah, you'll get encounters only in the other tower, so just make sure you're battling, getting all those entries. Look up a guide to see where each monster is located if you need to. Some of them are very hard to come across. They don't spawn as often as they should. Oh my god. You can see there. So that disappears, comes back. You can run all the way around. Down this way. Leather shield, blizzard. Blizzard's another one, right? So now our black mage has the ability to shoot stuff. Oh, look at that. Tonfa. Another weapon for the monk, but useless. Oh, losing myself now. Uh-oh. And if that happens, just keep running and bumping into the walls. Eventually, you'll pop free. I am King Sassoon, being the Jinn. Where's he dwells in the sealed cavern north of this castle. We can check it out. Stop words. Be the Jinn. Hey, any help, babe? Babe? Need help? The White Slayers in the Western Tower, it's a holy sword bane of the undead. Only raid. So right now, incredible looking stats. Everything's looking really good as far as the game is concerned. Just keep making progress. Now, if you really want to, you can start like really hammering away at your, like, especially having the airship. It's nice to kind of fly around real quick. Hop around here, kind of do it back and forth, level up your jobs and all that. As we start getting newer jobs associated with the game, any down moments that I have, I'm going to drop level off screen, because that shit's real boring to watch and it's real boring to do, but I'd rather not spend like 20 minutes doing the same thing over and over again. But that's going to be the intro for this game. First things first, we got to take care of what's inside this tunnel. And then I think nice job levels to have for each dungeon is probably going to be in the 60-70 range. So that's what I'll try to aim for every single time we get like a new job class or whatever. And we'll just play from there. Alright, so thanks for watching. We'll see you again.